What's going on, everybody? It is Jason. I am joined today by Jeff Haas. Jeff, how are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Been looking forward to talking to you. We've talked through email off and on over the year, but we've never actually talked face to face. So I'm kind of excited.
Well, hopefully I can meet your expectations, or maybe you should lower the expectations. I'm not sure which.
So the question I like to ask people first, kind of the origin story. What made you want to get into writing, and particularly comic books?
I'm a second generation comic book nerd. My father was a comic book nerd in the 60s and 50s, and he introduced me to comic books basically when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I've been reading them pretty much consistently for now, I guess, 35 years. And my father's also a writer, novels, a screenplay, and watching him write made me want to be a writer as well. And for better or worse, I've been giving that a shot for a long time too.
Nice. So when did you start writing?
For as long as I can remember, first grade, third grade. I would write little short stories, and eventually it just evolved over time.
Nice. So where did you come up with the idea for the end of all Terminus?
I honestly, God, don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a longtime Star Trek fan. I'm a longtime fan of movie Aliens and a bunch of other sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi nerd, much as a comic book nerd. And basically the idea, sometimes when you're a writer, the idea is sometimes you're going to force an idea. Sometimes something directly inspires an idea, and sometimes an idea just kind of pops into your brain. And as I was working on a short story, comic book I was thinking about, which would have been an Old West ghost story, this idea popped in my head. The idea of the ship and the characters and the ending. And the more I thought about it, the more it started coming to life in my head. And every once in a while, when something grabs your attention that much, you kind of just have to go for it. So I quit the other short story I was going to work on. I was like, you know what? I'm not in the mood to do this one's not the one anymore. It's got to be this. And I started writing it. And the more I wrote it, the more I got jazzed about how it was sounding, how it was looking, and the storyline. And I had to keep going.
Nice. So how hard is it to find people to draw the comics for you?
That's a loaded question. It's easy to find someone who you can pay to do the artwork. It's really hard to find someone who will follow through and actually do it. I guess maybe that's the best way to phrase it. I've had a lot of artists who have taken money and not completed work. But every so often you find a good one. I worked really well. Frankie Washington was really good. Joe Wong was really good. And this time I'm using Brad Shipp, who is on top of it. He's a great artist. He's became a friend. Someone, we can have regular discussions about the topic. About the comic book and things of that nature. But yeah, sometimes you got to get lucky and find a good artist, because, like I said, I've been fleeced enough times to be very cautious about it. But in this case, apparently I was right. It worked.
Nice. So where can everybody go find some of your other work? Can you tell us about some of your other stuff that you've done?
Sure. There's currently working on Malek Reigning Devil. It's on the 3rd issue. It's a story about an angel that was sent to hell by God to kill the devil. And for reasons that are kind of a little complex, the rule is when you kill the devil, you become the devil. And he realized he did not want to be destined to live in hell for the rest of eternity, and he's kind of pissed about that. So he's setting up a rebellion against God, and the issues followed his rise to power and his eventual confrontation with God. I also wrote a story with my father called The Nightmare Patrol, about a team of monsters who are brought together by the government to fight an evil army of zombies, which is a really cool story. I wrote a story called Sanctus, which was published and that one's on Comixology. That one's a little convoluted of a story, but it's a good one. The graphic novel. But yeah, I've written. Oh, and so there's Santa Claus, my kid horror story about an evil Santa Claus that enslaves children to use their belief to fuel himself. Most of my stories are somewhat horror related. Usually not. This is my first sci-fi story, but usually there's some sort of action horror element to them.
Are you a big horror fan?
Not as big as you would think, considering that's kind of what my genre is. But for some reason, there's a lot you can do with horror, and horror fits in so many other genres so well. I mean, like I said, look at Aliens, sci-fi, horror. Horror goes well with Christmas. Horror goes well with superheroes. Horror just seems to be able to be weaved into just about any genre successfully. And I don't know, I enjoyed some of the philosophical things that horror can introduce into a story by creating a little extra tension and drama.
Nice. How far ahead have you mapped out the end of all?
It's fully mapped out. I know the ending. Not 100% certain which characters will survive to the end. I'm letting some of the characters tell me who's going to survive at the end. I mean, I got a couple of favorites who I'm rooting for to be survivors, but it's good to, I think, to let the story guide you at least a little bit, and let the characters kind of guide you a little bit. Kind of let the characters do their own choose your own adventure kind of thing, where they kind of figure out what's going to happen. But I know how it ends. It's just a question of which characters will make it there.
Yeah. So, what is your writing style? Like, would you write something, put it away for a little bit, and then go back to it, or like, what is your process?
It depends. I mean, I used to just kind of jump in, but now I tend to map it out, do an outline. First, I'll like just do page and panels. I won't even describe the panels, but I'll kind of be like page 1, page 2, panel 1. Quick description, panel 2, quick description, 3, 4, 5. And then when I get to the full issue, I go back and kind of like build upon it, give it like the meat and the bones to it. But I kind of find that by doing that, not only does it help, it allows you to tell the story a little quicker, so it's fresh and you can keep kind of working on it, but still gives you enough room to go back and then really kind of sit down and go, all right, I got the story. It definitely fits 24 pages, so it's a full story. But where are the King? Sort of, I don't know if you've ever been a fan of Jurassic Park, the movie. Okay, have you ever seen the making of Jurassic Park?
Yes, it's been a while, but yeah, I've seen it.
All right. One of the stories as it goes, this is not to make it, but connected to one of the people who made it Jurassic Park, is that they realized when they're doing the CGI that even if something would look, they could make it look right moving forward, when they would make it walk in reverse, the errors popped up. So writing's kind of the same way I've been finding. So you write the full story, you get to the end or move forward. When you start backtracking and figure out, making sure all the pieces fit correctly to get to that ending, you start noticing where the kinks are in your story. You're like, oh, wait a second. Now that I'm there and this is how I got there, that doesn't quite feel like it works. Something wrong here. And then you can start tweaking the story. But it helps to have that ending, that beginning, and kind of make sure that you do have enough of a story there to tell, to then go back there and try to kind of figure out the kinks in the story, kind of figure out maybe there's a beat that you think could be made just a little bit stronger, but it just helps to have that framework in your head, so at least you know where you're headed.
I know you said that you haven't decided, necessarily which characters are going to make it through. Do you, when you go into writing, do you have an ending in mind? And then, you may not keep that ending when you get to it, but do you go into it kind of knowing what you want the ending to be?
Oh yeah, I definitely know the ending of the story. I know the big picture ending. Like I said, there's a question of which characters make it there. I'm allowing some maneuverability on the way, but the ending is there. It's going to only end this one way. I think the ending is something that readers won't expect, and I think it's kind of unique, thoughtful in a way too, and kind of very contemplative in the ending of it. But it's going to be basically, we're going to start with 50 to 100,000 characters. Most of them are not going to be shown, but how many are on the ship? And at the end, about 15 to 20 will make it through the end. So I'm planning on killing about 99,980 individuals in order to make it to the end. But the end, I think, is something special. I think it's unique. And I really do think it's something that can only be told in indie comic books because, let's face it, the big two wouldn't have the balls to end a story this way because they have too much franchise things to concern themselves with and things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about the Kickstarter.
Okay, as you can see, the Kickstarter has, at the moment of this, ends May 4th. May the 4th be with you. It's, basically what I determined. Anyone, if we hit 50 backers, anyone who buys a physical copy will get another issue free. They'll get a variant, either a variant comic book free of issue 2, in addition to whoever they bought, or they'll get another comic book written by me free of charge. So we want to hit 50 backers. That's the incentive. So guys, get me to 50 backers. I would like to do that. It is fully funded, though. Like I said, I want to hit that first stretch goal as well, which would be a keychains. And I also wanted to make sure there's enough demand to keep moving as well. Mm-hmm. So I want to get to that 50 backer mark. I think that's important to me. There's a black and white version, a grayscale version. There's colored version as well for the second issue that I'm working on as well. The color version is a little more expensive than the black and white for obvious reasons. I'm paying for colors now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I really think you guys, people give the story a good chance. Let the characters introduce themselves to you. I think a lot of people will get a good enjoyment. Plus, because it's different than what else is out there right now. I think there's enough superhero stories right now. There's enough TNA comic books out there. This is something a little high concept with some action involved, and I think people should give it a shot. Like I said, the prices are reasonable, $9 for most of the covers. Yeah. You can buy all 6 covers for $32. You can buy a PDF for $2. I mean, everyone can afford $2 for a PDF. Even a broke ass person like me can afford $2 for a PDF. So I get for $2 and for $4 you get the first and second issue. So for $4 you get 2 comic books that you can kind of you can enjoy and check out, and hopefully you'll find something that is special to you and something that can, once again, something that's just different from what's normally on the stands.
Awesome, Jeff. And where can everybody find you online?
You can pretty much find me anywhere. Facebook, you can find me at Jeff Haas Interviews, Traversing the Stars podcast. Same basic thing for Instagram, Vectors_comics. Facebook, I'm all over the place. Basically, the social media, I'm whoring myself somewhere. You can find me. All you got to do is look for my name. You'll find me somewhere. I'm everywhere. I'm on TikTok. You'll find me anywhere.
Everybody, please support indie comics. They're the backbone of the comic industry right now. Very important to me. It's a passion of mine. So definitely go support Jeff and the Kickstarter. The links to all that is down below. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And everybody have a great night. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you soon. Bye.